statutory obligation.
Pension, I wouldn't, for lack of a better word, I wouldn't say that it is a practice, but normally we have been receiving more money than we anticipate. Normally, the indicative figures which are given by public service were that way. Though, as of now, the Minister of Public Service has been engaging our planning unit during the budgeting process, item by item, and we believe that this could not happen again.
So you want to mean that is not a challenge? Pension is not a challenge in your entity?
No, it is not.
It's not. Honorable Chair, pension gratuity is not a challenge, and there is no pensioner who has not been paid. You retire today, in the next few weeks you get your pension and gratuity.
So you said the 810 falls under wage, pension, and gratuity. So that's why we have to get the details of how much is under those two, wage and gratuity, because you said for you did not need the money for wage and gratuity. How can finance allocate people funds that they don't need? Yet others have challenges of inadequate funding in some of those lines.
But not clearly that, Chair.
If I have got them well, for which they wanted, only that recruitment could not take place because of very many entities participating in the recruitment. Not so? But I have said for pension, finance normally sends more than they require. So they use what they require, and the unspent balance is, I think, remitted back to the consolidated fund. Is that the issue?
Yes, Honorable.
Okay. And I think, Chair, now it is a matter to discuss with the finance why they would send more pension than required. Don't you normally have a budget for pension? Such when releases are, rather when warrants are made and releases are made according to your budgets?
Chair.
Yes, Honorable.
Chair, that is actually an issue that we have been crippling with. Mubende came here, they were given more money than required. Other entities came, they were given more money than required. And we've been taking on this issue with finance. We don't know really why it continues. So I think this is among the many entities we have heard about that. So it should be one of the issues we should be able to conclude with the finance when they come, because this deprives of other entities of resources that would literally be absorbed as a matter of closing the gap of shortages that are available across the sectors.
Yes,
and Chair, like Honorable Angura said, yeah, it was very, very common when we had just started this term. But with time, it had really reduced, but now it is reappearing. Yeah. and Chair, it is not right. It is not right, because I remember when we were handling it, there were very, very many disagreements between entities and finance. Yeah.
Honorable Choma, as you also pick interest on the statement of appropriation based on classification of the expenditure by nature page, there is no page, but go to the financials. Honorable Sarah.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I do recognize that has been a recurring challenge, and you wonder why entities would receive funds beyond what they could have requested for. And it is surprising that the Ministry of Finance, for the last 5 years, as we scrutinize audit reports from different sectors, we see the same problem all through. And no effort has been made to actually rectify or stop that kind of thing. But also it is surprising that you find many unfunded priorities very critical sectors without funding, and here finance is sending money to people who have not asked, institutions that have not asked for it. So I hope that when we are interfacing with finance, we can actually put that case. But listening to the explanation for this can I conclude my point, please? No. Let me finish, then you will make your submission. No, Chair, you will make your submission. Chair, my point that I actually wanted to put across is that I do appreciate the point that has been made, but I was looking for the evidence, because one of the reasons for non-absorption is that there are different players in the recruitment process. So, can you provide evidence that you actually requested, whether it is Ministry of Public Service or Public Service Commission? Can you provide evidence that you actually submitted a request to fill in recruit staff? I was trying to look through, I don't seem to see it. Maybe the volume is too big. You could guide us on their next year where you placed it. Because we want to see how many vacancies. When did you submit this request to the Ministry of whether Public Service or Public Service Commission, and did they respond?
Yes, Honorable Granier. Madam Chair, it needs to come out very clearly that Ministry of Finance truly gave them much more than they requested for. Because according to Honorable Sarah, it is that Ministry of Finance gave them more money than they requested for pension and gratuity, I think. We need to get this from the accounting officer. Is it true that you were given much more money than you requested for? Because we see in the approved budget, the revised budget and the amount warranted are the same. So that should be clearly given. Because there are a number of entities out there, like it has been said by Honorable Angura, that need money for this, for actually the same activity, but they do not get it. There are so many pensioners out there that are crying, whose life is actually at the verge of being lost, but they're not getting their money. So we need to know this from the accounting officer, whether it is true that Ministry of Finance gave them money that they did not request for. According to their budget, they indicated that, actually, I think it was in the financials, they indicated that the releases were at 96%. Am I right?
It is 98?
98%. But in this big document, they indicate that they received 100%. So that also needs to be clarified. Thank you.
No, the difference was between the warrants and the amount that was spent. That's the one that brings in the difference of 110 million. They had a budget of 42 billion, the warrants were 42 billion, but they did not spend 810, which creates a difference. That brings them to 98% in terms of expenditures. Yes. Accounting officer, as you submit this briefly.
Yes, Honorable Chair, thank you very much. Yes, the Honorable Member, Honorable Sir Opendi, he has noted that this is a current problem, which for us we didn't know. That is a current problem that the Ministry of Finance gives more money to agencies. But for us, yes, we were given more money, and she has suggested us to provide evidence that we have to provide evidence to recruit from us to the Ministry of Public Service, and also to, of course, to the Public Service Commission. So we can provide that, Honorable Chair, to the, because there is evidence. We have got evidence, and if by close of this session I can still tell in those evidence, I can ask some of my technical officers to go to the lab and bring the evidences which we submitted to the relevant agencies to recruit.
hope we are covered with that. Let's go to, we have utilization of warrants. The auditor assessed the extent of implementation of non-payroll activities with an expenditure of 34.7 billion, that is 84% of the funds that were warranted and utilized. There are activities that could not be assessed. Leave the one that was fully implemented, leave the one that was partially implemented, but you have activities, 7 activities that consumed 34.283 billion, but the auditor could not, these activities could not be assessed. What happened? Though we have been looking for the list of these activities.
Honorable Chair,
Chief, as you proceed, as we do proceed, do you have the details of these 7 activities? When you look at your response, you just say management acknowledges the observation, because we need to know which are these activities. Yes. 34 billion, the biggest chunk, and this cannot be clear. Close to 35 billion. Which is this?
Which are the items that the 7 outputs that the auditor
that could not be assessed?
Honorable Chair, one of the biggest, because when you look at this 34.2 billion, one of the biggest of the list of the items which was related to the DNA building is one of them, because that is what constitutes.
But how could
yes, because
the indicators. So the auditors were of the view that the indicators in the planning process were not clear enough .
A building. For you are saying the parameters were not clear. What cannot be clear on a construction?
Chair,
No, but Chair, these are 7 outputs.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe can you just list the 7 first? Then we are able to see which one was taking what component in order for us to crystallize on this. Just first list the 7 outputs.
Honorable Chair, through the accounting officer, I think we can, if agreeable, we can submit this, because what also happens is that the audit report is not also detailing them, though I have it here. But I believe that when we look at the management letter, we can have them and we submit them to.
Do you know what this communicates? Because then what did you respond to? Look at your response when it comes to the report. So do we respond for the sake?
Chair.
Through you, Chair, the head of planning can come in.
The head of planning. Do you have business here?
Chair.
Are you sure you have business in this?
Chair.
This is actually his.
No, let me tell you one thing. This is something that is straightforward. First of all, the items were not brought out clearly. For you, you came out to respond on something that was not clear on your part. That is why we are failing to agree. Because if these 7 were listed, we would have been responding to the 7 items that were listed. But because for you, when you go to the response, I don't know, why do you fear auditors? If I were you, before even responding to this, I would have asked the auditor for what they meant by the 7. It would have simplified your response. But because they were not clear on their part, they didn't give you the details, and because you feared to ask them, I don't know why, you decided to create your own query and respond the way you wanted. So, honorable colleagues, this is the gist of audit.
I don't want to believe that the head of accounts is guessing these 7 now. Okay? Because remember, they were in the auditing exercise, those enter a meeting, the audit, the exit. I'm very, very certain that they discussed all these outputs in detail, and he knows why would he refer now to the working documents when actually discussed. Maybe you could say you've forgotten or what, but don't start saying maybe, I think, when actually you were engaged in this exercise. And this is the gist of the matter, because you have to help
This is where audit
you have to help the accounting officer.
Yes, honorable
Because
sir.
you have a small budget.
After.
But 34 billion cannot be analyzed in terms of evaluation, because if it is a DNA building, for example, I'm now helping the accounting officer. You must be knowing how many rooms, for example. Eh? What items do you need to construct this? Okay? So the auditor is also helped that when he's evaluating you, auditing you, these things are well stated. But if there are no indicators, no targets, really, how do you even assess yourself? Just self-assessment that you performed or you did not perform. That's the whole matter.
Honorable Chair,
Yes, honorable Bangura.
this is the bigger.
A moment, honorable Bangura. I had.
Chair, Honorable Angula, ceasefire. Chair had given me opportunity. Chair, I just wanted to know from them, especially the accounting officer, where is the work plan at your institution? Because that's all we needed to look at, your work plan. And what is there to assess, you're making life difficult, is whether we just want to confirm it is easy for you to look at the 7. Not so easy like that. Please pick it out and we are able to go back.
You cannot miss out the components involved in the 34, because that is actually the whole budget.
Now, Chief.
And your planner, accounting officer, your planner should come in handy to help you flush out this.
Honorable Bangura, do you know why we are not going to waste time on the planner now? It's because the report is so skewed when it comes to this matter. So for the side of the planner, we're just going to hear just an explanation. Remember, they have no direct response to what. So I believe this item needs to be, we need to get more details. We are going to liaise with the auditor to see how we can have this.
asking for you.
And much as you come and submit again, this is the response you then submit in writing. Because for here, it doesn't speak to the query.
And Madam, when the volume, I saw everything was here.
They have, as you proceed, they have tried.
Just
They have tried.
Honorable Chair, much obliged.
Madam Chair, they have actually, it is on Annex 4. I've tried to look at Annex 4. Annex 4.
So, honorable colleagues, I beg that we give them time to, we must have that sorted today.
Let's give them time.
But Chair.
No, let's give them time.
The auditors are telling me that they have gone to photocopy the schedule.
Chair.
So, yes.
Chair, by asking them to go to run to their work plan, I thought they would easily answer the questions. Because they attached it here.
Where exactly?
In part of this document. But they can't locate it.
No, there is, we looked through that. When you look at Annex 4, it doesn't speak to what we are asking for. It doesn't. The items that are on Annex 4 are totally different from what you want to ascertain out of the query. That's why the auditor says they are trying to photocopy some schedule. Let them link up with their planner and we'll have an answer on this. Otherwise, we cannot move on. So, honorable colleagues.
Madam Chair, in other words, they should prepare a response because the response down here.
For purposes of report,
that leads us to Annex 4 is not informing us well. So they can be preparing that.
We are staying Annex 4 as we wait for the clarification. Now, honorable colleagues, arising out of their budget, there are the things of timeliness in submission of performance reports. I request that we first skip those things of monitoring and we come to assessment of service delivery of DIGAL. That is page 22.
Madam Chair, how can we look at service delivery when we don't know the activities that were supposed to be covered by the 34 billion?
You know what, that is why he has moved out, because you cannot stay your meeting. That means you'll have to wait till when they bring it. So let's first move to review of service delivery, and we are beginning with the review of the construction of the DNA data bank. Accounting officer, you entered into contracts worth 100. Give the details, but the auditor notes that there was delayed payment to the contractor. Payment of more than 77 days. When somebody gives him a certificate, you delay to pay. So take us through the review of the construction of the DNA data bank, how far you've gone, and why don't you pay contractors in time?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and through you and honorable members. Yeah, yes, it is true that the government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Internal Affairs, implemented by the
Chief, bring the microphone closer so that you are audible.
It is true, Honorable Chair, that the government of Uganda entered into a contract with SMS Construction Limited to construct a national DNA data bank, and this commenced by site handover in 2023, and it is also true that the contractor was not paid immediately. Honorable Chair, we had a scenario where the Minister of Finance gave us money through Parliament, but gave us money, and that money was not given to us. That
Chief.
Money, yes.
They gave you money, that money wasn't given to you.
Yes. Parliament appropriated money,
But
and that money was not on the development budget line. That money was captured on non-wage, and we tried all of our best to engage Parliament, to engage Minister of Finance, and incidentally, at the end of it all, Minister of Finance said that the money you got was what we call, was not available for you. And we stayed, yes, and we stayed for that whole almost financial year without money being paid. And even at that time, Honorable Chair, we had already handed over the site to the contractor. And there is evidence to that effect. We have letters which we wrote to Parliament that they could reverse that. But there are letters which we wrote to Minister of Finance, and incidentally, that was money non-available for us because it was not captured on the development budget line. It was incidentally erroneously for which
Parliament provided them with specific critical activities as per the ministry. So they wouldn't provide that money to us. First and foremost, where it was, we wouldn't spend it. Then secondly, the idea the money was available.
Yes, Honorable Selby.
You see, once from the idea everything to be right into finance, right into Parliament, if I'm the one handling this query, I just exonerate you if there is evidence. Now, where are those
letters? Because that shows that you carried out your due diligence. You wrote timely, demanding for this money, because this money was budgeted for. So where is that evidence? Did you provide it to the auditors? And because I don't want to come back to the same matter, Madam Chair, is there any matter of litigation against you on delayed payment as a result of not paying the contractors? And lastly, the issue I want to look at, you are accused of not capturing details such as contract. You don't maintain contract ledger documents in your system, which is a challenge. Can you explain that? So I want those 3 questions. You answer, so you wrote to Parliament. Where is your evidence? Where are those letters? You wrote to Finance. Where are they? Because that would save you.
do you have evidence of those letters?
Madam Chair, before the accounting officer comes in, earlier on in his presentation he told us that they received 100% of the budget. Now,
Yes.
Wasn't that 9 billion part of the budget? Was it a supplementary? Was it something different from the budget that we had
him submit about earlier on in his presentation.
They received 98% of their budget, but the 9 billion was under a wrong line. So that means the budget was there, but it couldn't be spent because it was on a wrong line. And instead of development, it was on wage. Is it wage?
So it was given to them.
So it was given to them.
No.
It was on?
Honorable Chair, this is a multi-year project. And this particular aspect of money given to us but not available was in the other previous financial years, not this year, which honorable member is referring to.
Which year are we looking at?
And that is 2020. Yes. So that is money which was not.
Let's get this clear. You know, there is a way we mix up on multi-year projects. The thing is very simple. It's a multi-year project, but its budget must appear in the current budget because you have to pay.
Yes, Honorable Chair, the money to this project for the last financial year was provided. However, this money which you are referring to, which the auditor captured, was given to us, but given to us in the wrong budget line of non-wage or recurrent, not development.
We are speaking the same language.
Yes. And it was not available to us. Neither was it released to us. We have got also the evidence, as asked by honorable members, our effort to rectify this situation. I have evidence of those letters which we wrote to finance, which we wrote to parliament, highlighting this particular anomaly. I have the evidence, I can tender it.
Chief, let's go slow. Honorable Grania has a point. Is it true that the 9 billion was under item non-wage, but for the financial year 24-25?
No.
So
no.
Does that mean that for the financial 24-25, you were not allocated any money for this project?
We were.
So those two cannot add up. You know, as it comes in, there is a mix on something called multi-year. Multi-year is on contract. But when it comes to budgeting, that money must appear. The little that you are meant to pay must appear in the budget. So this system, I mean this reasoning of multi-year, when it comes to matters of budgeting, this doesn't arise. That's why we're asking, was the 9 billion part of the budget for 2024-25? If not, then we wouldn't have been talking about it here. Because we are handling a report for the year 2024-25.
Honorable Chair, through the accounting officer, the auditor.
No, it's for the responses he said he's going to give. Let's first sort out this. He said he's going to provide the documentation. Honorable colleagues, the fact that he did not come with it, you know? No, he said he's going to submit.
Chair, with due respect, Chair, my opinion is that he came aware that this question had been put, and that the fact that the auditor rolled the question ahead, it means that they had failed to resolve it at department at the ministry level. So, like Honorable Seung said, in absence of documentation, evidence presented on the table, I think the accounting officer, to say that it's going back, bring back the documents is being elusive. Because the fact that the question was carried forward to mean that dialogue they had with the Auditor General failed. And then he's saying communication to the Parliament, communication to the Minister of Finance, it was not given, it was brought at the wrong vote line. It deserves that bring more documents should have been brought. So I think we are continuing in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Honorable Chair, as the right report by Honorable Sevungu, where he has explicitly told us to provide evidence to that effect, yes, we have the evidence of the communication from us to Parliament and also to Minister of Finance. In the next, before the session ends, we have contacted my colleagues to bring the communications and to that effect.
So,
the issues of litigation against you.
On the issue of delayed payment to the contractor, issues of penalty, of delayed payment, that
potential litigation by the contractor in case he chooses to claim. So you are just lucky for now. You are not yet free. Otherwise, just know that there is a penalty every time we delay to and or payments. And the contractor, for you to say, you know, we did not get the money, that has never been a business of the contractor. Aware that the contractor uses borrowed money. So you cannot claim that you keep somebody's money for more than 2 months and you think you can just run away from it.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable.
When you look at this table, start date was February 2024. Final completion date, February 2026, which you passed. It has been revised to February 7, 2027. Is that right? Now, when you look at the payments so far made, 32 billion out of 103.
103.
And it's hardly a year or a year from now. Which measures are you putting in place to clear it?
Accounting officers, we do submit beyond record on the progress of this project in terms of physical and financial performance.
Honorable Chair, as the Honorable Member has noted, yes, the completion of this project from what had been planned was, as it is stated, February 2026. But because the money is given to us every financial year, not every lump sum, it affected the completion date. And of course, we had to revise it because government gives us money on a financial year basis. So it doesn't give us all the money. So right now, the money which they have given us, we have paid out as the rightly put, 32 billion. And we still
32 billion.
Yes, and of course, even this financial year, this financial year, there is more.
we don't have chances of having this project completed in 2027, this means you will be constrained on how to execute your mandate. Honorable Shagan.
Chair, I want to be helped by the accounting officer. Accounting officer, we began when we were questioning the 34 billion. And somehow you intimated that money was meant towards the laboratory building. And that is, for me, I took it that probably all the big chunk of money was meant for that, for the building. But as we are going on, we are seeing, you're saying you don't have money for construction. And when you look further into what has been paid, in total it is about 32 something. But in that particular financial, it's about 16 paid. So
now, out of that, as of now, the money which has been released under that towards this project is 4.5 billion.
the financial under review, they got almost 100% release. So you cannot now start claiming about the money you've not received when you have failed to account for the money that where you got 100%.
In addition, the accounting officer refers to financial which is not under review. He's trying to make I don't know, because now, could it be the question of management? Could it be the question of what is it? Like if someone said we are trying to find a way, nobody's blaming anyone, but now that we've got nearly over 90% really, the performance therefore should be immeasurable at that level.
Yes, Honorable Sewungu.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair and other members, believe the truth of this man. If he's telling you the truth, let us generate a recommendation for him as we write our report. If he's given money
was budgeted. So meaning this project needs to be helped. Every one of us agrees that it's a very critical entity that we cannot underestimate in terms of, funding. The project has overstayed. They are on extension time. It's yet to expire. They are going to again extend, which is a cost to them. So we need to see how to pick them from there. The other thing is they have made a submission on in regard to the 34. The 34. So the only challenge is they had made a few copies. So we are waiting for more copies so that every one of us can have one. Then that will take us back to the issue of the 34. But take note, AO, that 34 is not for the construction. There are so many activities under. It's not construction alone. So colleagues, so that is what we are saying. That is why our chief, very experienced in the laboratories, when it comes to issues of financials, you tell the team to answer. You stick to the knitting, do the laboratory things and leave the others to answer their own stories. Otherwise, when you mix, you'll end up, you see?
Much of blood.
True. So So, honorable colleagues, we are done. We are not done with the issue of construction. Take note, we are going to have an invitation to you to appear with your team so that we can help the country get real service out of this. And for colleagues who have just come, this the accounting officer has given us a list of the price list of the services that they do offer, and we all need them. So we are going to have this list given to you so that as Honorable Seunga, as you take your children for DNA, and for some of us who are planning to have these DR forms verified, you will know that each page is 200,000.
And so, Madam Chair, I think you take us to the very side as we meet the other people.
Yes.
That are not meeting here.
And see the progress which has been taking place, and also, of course, the interface with the contractor on site and the project manager.
True. So let's go to 3.4, review of the operation in the DNA Central Laboratory. So here we are, absence of a national forensic DNA database. The auditor noted that by close of financial year 2024-25, there was no functional national forensic DNA database, no functional DNA information system, all centralized respiratory DNA profiles, as implementation had not progressed beyond the planning stage. There was no evidence of system development of data collection, all data collection activities in an alternative data bank facility. As a result, DIGAL continues to rely solely on case-by-case DNA analysis without national platform to link DNA evidence across cases, regions, and other agencies. So, absence of a national forensic DNA database has undermined the effectiveness of criminal investigations, delayed justice delivery, limited disaster victim identification, and constrained both institutional efficiency and international collaboration. Sir, respond to that. Absence of a national forensic DNA database. As you do make these responses, simplify for we, the common people, to understand what this means.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Indeed, the auditor noted that this national DNA data bank is of importance to this country. He has highlighted the importance of this facility to the nation of Uganda, and the absence is costly, and as he has highlighted. Honorable Chair, there are a number of aspects related to this. One is that this is a construction which is taking more than 1 year, and at the time of the audit, of course, looking at that, there was nothing operational at that time as they envisaged with this construction of the national DNA database. So the database. So the DNA database is not present as it is now, even currently now. But it goes on. But it is being constructed. On the issue of the aspects which relates to the DNA data bank, the absence of the legal framework, I have the honor to report that the Forensic National DNA Database Bill 2025.
You said absence of what?
The legal framework. The legal framework.
But where is that?
I think you look at the page 26. Page 26.
Yes, but where is it?
Chief.
Madam Chair, could you clarify on this?
Chief, I want you to simplify, because it looks as if people may think you are talking about the building.
No.
Because as we are explaining, you also somehow want to switch to the building.
Madam Chair.
We are talking about a database. So speak to the database.
Database is...
Madam Chair, if I may interject a little. You see, in his explanation, and where you have even interjected, It says that the forensic detail is a national level issue and its implementation depends on the enactment of the Forensic and Scientific Analytical Service Bill 2025, which is currently before Parliament. Now, the moment you appear before this committee, can you place a draft of that bill to this committee? Because, Madam Chair, I know what this man is trying to say, but could we see it's before Parliament, but you are now before the committee, and the issues raised here are pertinent. Look at the effectiveness of criminal investigation is failing because of that. Then delayed justice delivery is because of that. Limited disaster victim identification is because of that. And constrained both institutional efficiency and international collaboration. But it would be very key when you are appearing for this committee. You are saying before Parliament. No, we are not all belonging to your committee where you appear. The only answer here is placing it before the speaker, the chair of the committee, to believe that you presented that bill. Where is the copy that can be used with? Because whatever is complained about here is as a result of failure to have that bill enacted into.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Chair, the bill is on Annex 12, if you can go.
Then there I give you some marks. If you have it, it was attached. Madam Chair, I don't really, I rarely give marks, I'm giving.
Madam Chair.
Let me look. Annex 1?
Madam Chair, as Honorable Sewungu visits the Annex 4, my question is, Annex 12, my question to the accounting officer is, how far have they gone with the generation of the database? Because I can see in their report, this Parliament agreed that they prioritize this database generation with a financing of 178.66 billion. Since then, have they been receiving money for the same in those financial years? If that is not what they prepared for as they were coming for this meeting, because we know we are looking at the year 2024-2025, can you just brief us about this in as far as generating the database is concerned for that financial year under review? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, may I request the head of criminalistics and laboratory services, where the DNA services for to come in.
But as he comes in, you should also be mindful that you stick to Honorable Angura. Can we have one meeting? Let us stick to the responses that we gave. Number two, dear scientists, when we are making responses to these queries, avoid using red. Red is real and official color. It is not an official color for. So these responses, you can see how to do it. You can make them bold, but avoid using this kind of red. Yellow is very unacceptable because you know the dangers of yellow. Do you want to be part of yellow fever? So really, we cannot take that zone. So.
Chair, rightly noted. Honorable member, I think Honorable Grani from Muvende has brought us to an issue that regarding the financial year in discussion, whether there was a generation of data related to the DNA database. I would wish to ask the head of criminalistic and laboratory services to come in here.
Okay, let's proceed.
Let's proceed, sorry.
Let's proceed, because you said there was no legal framework. Am I right? Would it be possible?
Rightly so, yes. No, page 12 is the annex of the law. No, No, they have told you we have a draft, and the draft is Annex 12.
Madam Chair, the accounting officer has pointed out to the responsible person to give us information.
Honorable Grania, we are updating you that look at Annex 12, there is a draft as we proceed.
That I see, Madam Chair.
So let us proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. Through my
Pull the microphone closer, you don't need to bend too much.
Thank you, Madam Chair and honorable members. The National DNA Database we have just attached a copy of the current bill on the National DNA Database bill, which we have submitted and we are discussing, presenting in the Committee of Defense and Internal Affairs. Basically, the National DNA Database is intended, the reason why we are pushing it for having a law on it is that the database, we use it to help in investigations. An example is if a crime is committed in Uganda now and the police has gone to the crime scene and has picked the exhibits, apparently the current practice has been the suspects are all arrested. We can have 50 people arrested on the same crime. And the database is now coming in to help that when the police searches the crime scene, you don't have to arrest anybody. You just give us the exhibits, we test the exhibits, and we search through the database and point to the real people who were on the scene. And the police will, at over 95% confidence, go for only those people who have been earmarked by the database. Now that database requires, that system requires that has the law backing it. And that's why we are pushing the law at the national level. But for quality control purposes, in our own operations, to assist us to do our analysis with assurance, we have our own developed in-house databases. For example, for DNA, for ballistics, when a gun comes and it has been used previously, we can trace it from our own database, but which we have not made national, but for only quality control purposes. But aware of that, we moving to the level where we must use the database for investigations at a national level. That's why we are pushing the law. But apparently, for us, for our own quality control and quality assurance purposes, in our test procedures, in our forensic tests, we have our own in-house databases which we use for quality control purposes.
Yes, Honorable Song.
I think I would like to say that this, even when you got the response of these people, they are insisting on this act, on this bill. I think the response is good. And I've looked at the objects of the bill and everything. It is about a data center, isn't it? Because as we talk now, people are going to any person to get test DNA, but there's nobody supervising all these institutions. I would pray that their response is valid in this matter. Once the bill is there, we Parliament, let us not run away from our responsibility. We must also accept challenges on our side. Whoever is the committee in charge of this entity is not moving fast to move this bill because it was tabled on. I see that date is it was on 16th May 2025, and it is key. There are so many challenges happening now with the families. Someone decides I'm taking my children to this doctor, he has DNA. Even in Kalungu, I got samples of battle before burial of somebody, but the samples were kept by a nun. All those are issues that must appear in the bill. So I think I am in agreement with your response, management response to the query. And what we have to look at to clear this is we Parliament, and that's a recommendation. Why is the relevant committee not I move we proceed to another item. Their response is valid.
Honorable Chair,
Madam Chair.
Honorable Gramia from Mubende wanted to know whether there is any data generated during the financial 2024-2025. In this book, there is a study which we have undertaken. I think it is Annex 9. The RRF frequency database for 21 short tandem repeats in the Ugandan population. This is a study which we, of course, this is also formed part of our the database development. We carry out this study across the Ugandan population from east, west, south, central, and we have generated the genetic profiles of our population and to see what we can in future use. Presently, we are using databases which have been generated by other people. So, I think to specifically to speak to the query from the honourable member, we have indeed taken a step to generate our in-house databases, and not only the DNA database, as the head of criminalistic and laboratory services has said, we have the ballistics database, we have got toxicology for poisons database, we have got the pesticide residue database, we have got the
Madam Chair.
So these ones are helping us to solve the crimes which are committed in the various crime scenes.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
but my view is that we want to concur, but I think this committee should come out, as a colleague has asked, talk to the powers that are with to ensure that these bills actually reflect.
No,
because I think the regulator here now is government, and the others are doing things whatever. So let's agree that you stop that issue now and only have the timeline.
Very true, Honourable. But Honourable colleagues, I request you to pick interest. There is a report that was produced by this same directorate on microbiome monitoring report on assessment of microbiological safety of groundnuts sold in major markets of Kampala.
No.
Pick interest as leaders.
But, Madam Chair, maybe I take you back to...
Honourable Chair, Annex 9 has got different reports which we have different reports. I think Honourable from Mubende, they indicated the levels of aflatoxins in the nuts, in the cereals. So this report speaks to that effect. Also, I was speaking about the report on pesticide residues on fruits and vegetables, specifically tomatoes. It is also attached.
But why did you only do on pesticide residues and selected fruits? Why northern Uganda alone?
Honourable Chair, we have done the studies not only in northern Uganda, we have done in the eastern Uganda, we have gone central and also south.
So,
those reports.
Chief, do you see the relevance of your department now? You know, it's no longer directorate, it's a department. You know, some of these reports are good to us as leaders. We inform our people on some of these things. So, how I wish you can see how best you can popularize the work that you do. It says it goes National Media Center. Let's proceed. We take note, but as we've concluded, your work is really relevant. Make sure the people know. When these reports are out, let MPs be given reports in their pigeonholes so that they can inform. You know, these are representatives of the people. You come out with the reports, savings spent some huge sums of money. You keep quiet with the reports.
Madam Chair, in his opening remarks, he indicated to us that he doesn't advertise his services.
No, he has those that are classified, but there are those that are for the people. Because this report classified, sir.
And the second, the chief for Parliament is almost winding up, and they better track the bill. Short of that, it will collapse with. Unless someone move a motion to save it. If it's not saved, when they...
Which committee?
Okay.
And other desks, best tasks relative to the number of staff. Consequently, analysts resorted to using technical benches and analytical stations as improvised office spaces, further impacting workflow efficiency and overall laboratory organization. The one staff per station workflow restricts concurrent analysis and slows down case processing, hindering timely completion of forensic examination. Sir, respond to the query.
Please,
allowed.
Thank you.
And that we do as a lab, it has been a long-standing issue, but we are only believing that this issue will be fully resolved with the completion of the DNA database which we are putting up, and in the designs we provided fully enough storage spaces and working spaces in this building. That's what I can see on this.
Honorable Sound.
But you see, Madam Chair, when you read the observation of the general here, you just feel that even, I don't know how they use these things in court, because they are fully contaminated. They are saying that the rooms are smelling, the order there. It is here. Furthermore, upon entry, a strong unpleasant odor was detected in the exhibit storage room, suggesting inadequate ventilation and poor environmental control. So the whole thing, I am looking at the judges who are handling matters of such exhibits from your department, how they are generating their judgment with such materials which have been contaminated.
And Chief, as you take note of what is being out, the auditor put it clear that the use of analytical benches as office and reporting stations exposes sensitive work areas to non-technical activity, increasing contamination risk.
And Madam Chair, you see, Mr. Accounting Officer, as I conclude, with all the poor conditions you have, something must be done administratively with the limit of what you have within the meager resources. You know, don't you think UPE children get aggregate fund 5, 6, 8, 10? There are many first grades under the poor working conditions. Because the teachers there and the teachers under trees, they are getting grades. But here, the report here shows that even
you are aware that one is that our lab is under international accreditation, and one of the aspects is we receive range from stomach content, range from blood, range from stool, range from all those, and our body organs, and there is no way, even in our cold room where we keep this, when you open like this, definitely you will get that smell. You will, even when we are working.
A moment, let him conclude. Give him time to explain.
Chair, why I'm saying this, and allow me, I want the accounting officer to appreciate that we are here because of the country called Uganda. And we are not here to give a defensive cover-up. We are using users to maybe to help alleviate a situation which is out of hand. And this observation to be written here by international, we are calling it international, Auditor General is helping us and helping you and helping us to put whoever is responsible to improve on that situation. But now to give a defense, you are now saying maybe the auditor's smell was not genuine.
No. Madam Chair, just 1 minute. You see, Madam and what they observe is what they state. Contamination. The word contamination. I don't know your local language. Even where I'm sitting.
What does it mean in your language? You tell us in your language. What is
actually, I don't know the transfer of my words. In Rwanda, Swahili, what? But I think let us agree, for the sake of solving this challenge, that the issues that are raised by auditors are good for your next step as you transit your new structure when it's completed. But don't say there is no contamination.
Information, Honorable Sewo.
Yes, Honorable Nsamba, as Honorable Grania comes in.
Thank you. I wanted to inform Honorable Sewo that actually the information provided in this management response probably is better than what you're giving. Because when you say, you don't worry, we deal with these things, even when it's a new building, it will say, and all the results that you're going to give, that's what the auditor has given. So, I think we better stick to how you responded here. Otherwise, when you're telling us that, hey, members, when you go to kitchen, the kitchen smells food. So, you will always find such a smell as if the auditor, once the auditor tells you that this is not correct, it means that where you're going, you must correct it. So that our analytical laboratory is not found smelly, it's not found contaminated. That's what we want to hear. And that's how you can even ask for more money. But when you come with that language.
Yes, Honorable Grania, colleagues, we still have a lot.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. We should also appreciate them that the environment in which they work, actually, when you explain the kind of samples they receive for analysis, you can really see that the smell is expected, but it should be limited also. And also, Madam Chair, when you look at some of the findings or observations by the auditors, they were a little elaborate. But when you see the management response, it was general. So, Mr. Accounting